Video is going to be educational and for educational purposes only, to explain how we would personally fill out the product packet and how to use this product so that you guys will be able to properly take from our suggestion as to how we personally would fill it out. Because we're not a law firm or an attorney, we can't give legal advice, so you can take from how we do this and you can run with it however you like. At the very top of this page, you need to write CM, cat, mouse, and then the hash symbol, and we'll get to that later, but that will be a certified mail number. Then the day's date, who you're sending it to. It needs to be the company's name, the full information. You also need to have from, so all of your personal header, first, last, name, your mailing address of where you're currently at, and just a brief description here in the RE is what exactly you're sending out. And we'll move down to down here. This is where you're going to need, it's called the APN number, Apple Pine number, APN. And this is going to be found at the clerk's office or with the title company that you signed on for your property. And at any time, of course, if anybody has any questions or does need help, we're more than happy to answer a question. You feel free to give us a call. But this should help you get through as easy as possible. And in here, you have the instrument number, we have the book number, the pages. In the county clerk's office, they have your house recorded and documented in a certain book in a certain kind of, I would say, library. And what this is doing is this is letting the company we're sending this to know exactly what we're talking about. You have to be very specific and on point with all of this. If there's one thing that's messed up just a little bit, it can be a big no-no, and we don't want to have any problems. So this is you fill this out with the lot, the plot, the block, the page, the county, the state, and you would want to pull out your title or pull out. It's called a land patent number is the actual term, and in that land patent number it would have this information. So kind of to move on to the second page. These are all the regular questions that we're asking in the company. And then, of course, down here you're going to date it and then you're going to sign it, which is the second page. Then we have here a notary, and the notary has to notarize what we're actually sending out. The notary, the only place this can get notarized is the UPS store. So hopefully you have a UPS store near you. And the reason why is if you get a notary done at, say, your bank for free, but then you go to the post office and get sent certified return receipt, there's no way to prove that what was notarized was actually mailed out. The only way to prove that would be to go to the UPS store where the same person that's notarizing the document would also be the person sending the documents out. So if for any reason it's got down to time to showtime, we were in court and the judge wanted to subpoena the notary and say, hey, did this person do what they said they did on this time and this date of exactly when we said we did it? Well, you would be able to prove that, and it holds a lot more merit having someone that's a civil servant according to your particular state vouch for you other than just you. So it goes by what you know and what you can prove. I take that back. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And this will be able to do it for you. So once this gets notarized and it gets stamped, make sure your receipt gets stamped when you're at UPS so you can show that what was stamped and have all the proper documentation. You want to save that, put it in your pocket, put it somewhere else aside, and keep all your notary and certified return tickets. Keep them together because that's going to end up being your golden ticket to prove that you did what you said you did. And this whole packet, of course, you want to take a copy, make a copy of the whole thing. Now down here, when we're sending it out, these places, this is the only place that we have doesn't have a physical mailing address, but it is a valid office. If you just write this in on your envelope, this will actually get mailed to the actual corporation. All the way down the line, each one of these companies, and here's the catch on all of this, you need to have printed this packet. You will have 9 copies of this packet, and each packet goes to a specific company. 3 of them would go to the 3 credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. The next one would go to your lender, which is the lender is holding your debt with the company. Here, it would go to this company, Federal Trade, Department of Consumer Regulatory Affairs, Florida. This is an example, so you'll have to blank this out and write your state, and that's why we left it in there. and that's our Attorney General, Pam Bondi. But you'll blank that out, and just simple whiteout will do. Doesn't have to look perfect, it just has to be accurate. And what you're sending out is actually documented. But you'll send a packet to each one of these companies, and when you do, and you get it sent certified return receipt, you're going to write for that specific packet, it will have its own certified mail number. So if it's this one, it may have 1234. This one may have 5876, and each one is going to be a little bit different. And the whole point of that is when we send this to the lender, each company will have all the information showing that we not only sent the lender the same packet, but we sent it to all these federal agencies as well, so that the company doesn't just have to validate the debt with us, they have to validate with the federal agency. A lot of times the company will go and they'll get a hold of the Federal Trade Commission and they'll say, well, we received the documents, I think the customer might be doing something illegal or running a scam. And I say, no. We don't play that game at all. By doing this way, it documents everything we're doing from start to finish. So nobody can say that you did or didn't do something, and you can back up everything you say by the time you get to court. A lot of judges will actually be bought off. And one of the ways around that is if you can have the Federal Trade Commission provide a forensic audit on your contract before you get into court, and you have the proper documentation, which is what will be provided by doing this, that you can show what was sent in, when it was sent in, the day and time that you did it, and that you are using your current state and federal laws, and by doing that, you immediately have a case. So the judge can't deny your case. If he does, or she does, you could potentially have them sued or thrown in jail. So, and that's pretty powerful for saying that against a federal judge. This is a release of mortgage. This paper you don't have to do anything with. This is for the company if they know that they can't validate the debt and they want to release the home or the property to you. This will give them the ability to do that. Once you receive this, you can either give us a call directly and we'll walk you through the next part, or you can take it straight to your clerk of the court, to the recording office, pay the recording fee, and they will release the deed to your home and you will have full ownership of the property. And this happens more often than you think, actually. This is Schedule A. Schedule A is what the packet is about. It's the account, and it's what you're sending to the actual company for review. So at the top, we would put your property name, your address. You would put the APN number, which is the land patent number, on your title through the title company. And it's just kind of a review of what's actually getting sent out. That's all. And this will go in the packet. And this is part of all 9 packets, so you guys will get this, and you'll be able to fill it in very simply. Make sure that you might want to use a pencil when you're doing this, so if there's a mistake, you can go back and erase it, and then you could retrace it with pen once you have it. And that's a good way to do it, because these are very expensive documents. They're not easy to actually create. This is called an affidavit of truth. On each line, I would personally write my first and last name. If I had first, middle, and last name, I would write all of that. And then I would sign this document. And that just is one more paper to go with it. This is what you're doing with this paper is affidavit of truth. It's kind of like being under oath in court. When you raise your right hand and you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, that's what this is. And you're providing that part of this packet. And once again, this is duplicating the exact same process that happens in the courtroom out of the courtroom. That's why this needs to be done. But you have to be able to show proof of that, and we're going to do that. This is the affidavit of notary, and you will just simply, on a day, and then you'll put the month, and you'll put it on there, you'll sign it. This also will have to be notarized, and the notary signature goes there, and then the same certified return receipts, so the packet that got sent to the Federal Trade Commission, the Attorney General, you're going to put those numbers on here, so when you do send out this whole product or this whole package, that each company will be able to, oh my God, they'll start sweating bullets immediately, knowing that now they're under a federal audit provided by a citizen or a normal citizen of the country. So that's very cool, because it's the first time anybody's done this. So that's it for this video. If you guys do need help or have any questions, you can feel free to call or email us, and we'll help you as much as we can. If we're not available, we'll respond back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience, and hope you have good results. Hey guys, back to forensic audit. It took a short break there in between, but this is, I don't know if you guys can see it, this is actually the first packet that we sent in the month prior. Now this exact same packet, not only, you do have to send it again on the second round, but you're going to send this in with the next set of documents. So I just wanted you to see it briefly just so you know. But the first 9 packets we already sent out, you have to do the exact same process all over again. It is a pain in the butt, but this is the correct thing. So we have to be able to show 3 sets of 30 days, concurrent, consecutive, back to back, up to 90 days that the company wasn't able to validate the debt. So the second round here's the paperwork for it, and of course you guys will have it here, and it's coming in the mail. If you haven't received it yet, you will have it here shortly. And it's the same sort of thing all over again. The first page is almost identical. I don't see anything new other than the reference down at the bottom would be the title number, again, the book, the page, the county, and the state. So that's pretty easy and self-explanatory. The exact same thing down here at the bottom. And then we'll move on to the second part. At the top, we did include the certified mail, which will be the actual certified mail number, and that's the number that you're sending certified to the lender. And then it'll be the same for each company. So, but that'll happen back on one of the 5th, the 7th, whatever page back. It's back a few pages. This is what the company didn't answer from the first. So the first part of the documents that we sent out in the first 30 days, this is what they couldn't answer. There's a checkbox next to each of them, and you can just simply check the box that wasn't answered. And the whole point of this is we're responding to the response that the company gave us. So if they only answered maybe 4 of these or 3 of the laws, that we would just check those 3, and we'll have to provide some sort of a cover letter and say, look, this is what you did provide, this is what you didn't provide. I want to see the rest of it to show valid proof that there is an actual debt. And if they can't do it, then you guys are on your way to a very handsome lawsuit. It's just speaking, the last lawsuit we did here to file against JP was a $100 million lawsuit. And guess what? We own the home. The next one is the second page to these laws, and it's the same thing as the first. You just check the box that's necessary for you. Okay, here is a notice for the rules that apply for what we're doing. And this isn't too hard once again, but it's all fill in the blank. Which you would put your full first and last name. The undersigned, so it would be your initials here. And then your state at the bottom. This is pretty easy and self-explanatory. Next page, affidavit of notary presentment. We are getting notarized a paper that shows exactly what we sent in and what we're sending in again. So the first 9 packets is part of this, and this is on here under the list of documents to be mailed. We would fill out this part up top, including the institution. So most of this is simple and self-explanatory. If there's something you don't know, then you feel free to give us a call and reach out, and we'll help you. Down at the very bottom of the page, there's a loan number. That loan number will need to be put the APN number, and that's it for this page. So pretty easy on that. And of course, if you guys aren't sure, then you can always ask. And this is the release of the security instrument. It's called the release of mortgage. Paper looks a little different. It's been updated since the last. And this is what you guys company will have to fill out and send back to you. So that's just kind of a done deal. Schedule A, once again, a record of what's actually getting sent out and verified by the company. This is the same thing that you had. So the APN, the title, the block, the county, and the state goes down at the bottom. At the top, of course, is and once again, and pretty simple. It's going to be the same for each one of these packets all the way through, all the way until the 3rd, and we're done. Once again, affidavit of truth, showing that you're under oath and you are telling everything to the best of your ability, that you are being honest, and that all of the things you're sending in is true. Since this is non-adversarial, it's not hurting the company in any way, so you guys will be able to take this and run with it. And once again, the affidavit of notary, and this is where the notary will notarize the top, and you'll fill in the appropriate areas. And the same thing again when you do the packet send out for these packets. There's going to be 9 of these that will all go to all 9 different corporations, the appropriate corporations. This one in particular, This is just a kind of an example. That's not a real client. And you'll just kind of blank out the name so you'll know where to put yours. We did that because for some reason at these last two at the end, a lot of people were having trouble with them, so we put an example in there. Same sort of thing. So just like the first, and once you do it the first time, you shouldn't have any trouble with the second. If you do, we are here, and we are here for you. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions or concerns, you know how to get a hold of us. Okay, guys, this is the third packet and final round for what you'll be doing. This is called Notice of Fault and Dishonor. And let me go back here and show you guys the first packet that we'd sent out, the 9 packets to all the different corporations. And here's the catch. All 9 places we sent this to and all 9 packets will go in the second. All of the second will have all the first packets we sent out to go with the second packet. And then in the third, we have to send out everything all together. So there ends up being about dictionary sizes worth of laws and documents and all the correct stuff to show. And this does end up being its own court case all on its own outside of court. But the first, here it is. The second for the same sort of thing to give you an idea, which was the second month. And now we're at the third month. And there will be 9 packets of this that will go out all together. So same sort of thing, certified mail number at the top, the date, your personal information, the servicer, which is the company holding or asking for the debt, and their personal information, the title company, the book, the page, the number of the county, and the state. Don't forget the state. In this, it says USPS. Now, USPS used to have notary and certified return receipt at the same place, and everyone's a little bit different. So make sure you call before you actually take your documents down to the post office to mail them. Part of what was so good about the post office is it's a federal agency, so as soon as they put a stamp on it, now it becomes a federal document. And nobody wants to mess with federal law. It's a big no-no. You don't get to screw the government. So as long as you're using everything legal and right to your advantage, you should come out smelling like a rose, and that's what this is going to do for you. So you'll go down the page, it's fill in the blank. Let's see. So you put the date here, the sign by, and this is for the notary to actually sign. And this will be one of the pages back, but this is for the fault, which is her signature goes here. She will have to document this page. Yep, that's it for the first page. The second page, we're going to go in here and walk you through. Let's see. USPS, the best place I can think of to use, and be sure to write this down, is UPS. It's a UPS store. So the same person that's notarizing your documents can also be the same person that's stuffing the envelopes for you and mailing them out. So he or she can testify that you did do what you said you did and back up everything that was actually sent out. It is a wise idea at the end of this to make copies of exactly what you had sent out, so that the papers that I sent you, they're not allowed to be copied as long as you are making a record just for yourself. They will come out accurate, and they are for yourself to hold in case in the event you do have to go to court and show, yeah, this was actually sent out. That is okay. In the contract that we created, it's not okay for you to do that or share any of the information unless it's going straight to the judge's hands. So, or your attorney, of course. If you do want to hire an attorney, a lot of people do actually hire an attorney. They pay the actual first hearing and then the next court date, and they have an opinion of the court, which is a ruling, and they do pay it. It ends up being about 1/20th the price of going to a federal attorney to do the exact same thing. So, pretty cool. Not a whole lot to do here. It's very self-explanatory. If there's something you don't understand, you can feel free to call or touch base with us, and we will help you where we can. The notary's information, she'll certify that this is true and accurate, and what's actually being sent out. Next page. Affidavit of notary presentment, the same thing that you had originally done on the page previous. She'll have to notarize it and show proof of what's being sent out all at the same time, which is 9 packets from the first company. I'm sorry, 9 packets from all 9 send-outs the first set of 30 days, and then 18 packets, which is first and second together, in the second set of 30 days, which is 60, and then now we're at 90 days, which it'll be all 3 sets put together for a total of 27 send-outs. So, and of course, just your personal record. But self-explanatory once again, the property address, the account number on the loan, your signature, and then this has to be notarized as well from not just the top but the bottom. So make sure that you're not just getting one, because this certifies what was actually, or documents what we just went over, and this section certifies what we're actually sending out for each of these. So it was documented. You have to show proof. This is kind of a just some instructions on what we have here, and it is going through. There's quite a few documents. The same sort of thing. This is where it gets a little tricky, but the this is an information request to the actual company. Let's see, all certified or uncertified security front and back used for the funding of account, and then you put your account name or number. Pool agreements including account number, and you put your account number between you and, so I mean this is getting a little more technical, but I don't think anybody will have trouble. If you do, give us a call and I'll walk you through this personally. So, on to the next page, but it's I mean it's pretty cut, point blank dry. It's very simple here. All servicers escrow custodial account between, or whoever it's between with you guys and the actual company. So same sort of thing again, fill in the blank. So I hope you guys like the way I have this set up here with fill in the blank, and here's another page that I'll leave it on there. Unless it's something very technical and difficult, I wouldn't stress too much on it. If you don't know the answer or question to something, then you get a hold of us, and we're happy to help. That's what we're here for. MERS is the digital federal electronic mortgage registration system. It's every mortgage that's gone through, like Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac, for a purchase. Any of the mortgages, a lot of them, and they're not all through Fannie Mae exactly, but they do go through a system, and it shows who is actually holding the title with the mortgage and the company, and where that actual document and contract on the original wet notes. It's called the original consumer contract on the original wet note signature, which is your original signature you signed on that first document with the company, acknowledging and validating that there is a debt. And part of your signature that's worth a lot of money is that you're validating there is a debt. My uncle is Benjamin Franklin. We have one of his journals that was left behind to us, and it talks about the code put into contracts, and behind the contract itself is the actual alchemy. The whole English language is a periodic, it's set up as you take the word or letters AU out of authorized. So every time you sign your name on something, it's actually a release of value, whether it's a credit card or it's you sign your name at the end of a meal, you pay with a credit card, you pay a payment, or you post office, you're signing for a package. AU is in that word, and on the periodic table of contents, the atomic charts and structures, AU stands for gold, and that just happens to be the breakdown of how all of these contracts work and documents. So for each one of them, you'll have a little something in there. But this is all ties into a lot of what we're doing with this. So on to the next page, just more information to the company. A lot of this is questioning the company and what they have, and they will have to explain. Here's for the account on the actual debt. This is for the security instrument, an instrument being the actual contract. You'll need to put the account number. That was very important on there. Let's see. Additionally, I demand to view the original wet ink note at a time and place mutually agreeable pursuant to, you can read that part. Let's see. Qualified written request. And this is one of the documents that you have to have in this. Makes this whole thing work. Without it, it's nothing. But let's see. You'll put the company's name. We should have here, and then the account number. So I'll have to go back on some of my documents and see what we had there. Some of these I don't know because there's so much, but I do have the information set here on the documents we've done before, and I'll be able to answer these questions for you. So And most of them down the line are still self-explanatory. Let's see, reflect default and satisfaction of the obligation. And you would fill in the blank here. So right of collection, viability insurance and or bond. Let's see. So you would put the deed of trust company has the right of collection via liability insurance and or bond. So that would make sense. So some of this stuff you are going to need a little bit of help with, and I'll see if I can't put something together to go with this at the end of the video for you guys. If not, hopefully you guys would just call me. I mean, there's only a certain amount of these I'm going to be able to do at a time, so I will have your information and be able to help you. This ends the RESPA request. This is, once again, this is Schedule A, which is the same as in the first and second packet, and this is just the account that we're inquiring about to see the actual documents for. This is in the courtroom, this is actually called Exhibit A, and the way we've set this up for the opposite without reflecting on and hurting the court is Schedule A. So pretty cool, I thought. And final and last, this is the release of mortgage. The release of mortgage you don't have to touch. This is for the company and the company only. Here is the affidavit of truth, and that's what that looks like, and that's who you're sending out to with all those agencies again. And then we have a affidavit of notary that we'll have to include in that as well, and that's affidavit notary. This will be the affidavit acknowledging what's actually sent out, and that'll be part of that packet, and we'll include it. Thanks, guys.
Check this.